Welcome back to the Empty Nest. Although there wasn't a lot to see in Cotulla, the weather was really nice and we enjoyed our time at the KOA. After leaving there, we headed to Del Rio on our way to the Fort Davis Mountains. For those of you that think we're living in the lap of luxury, this is the cabin that we stayed in, including single bed bunk beds. We did find a really cool state park that we took this video of, and there was a huge houseboat on there. There was a campground that was located not too far from it that you could stay for $6 a night if you were not in a pop-up and the weather was better. And there are apparently a lot of fishing tournaments that happen here. The place was absolutely beautiful, and that was in Del Rio. The other thing I learned is that you can get a pineapple hard cider dressed with chili powder, and it was delicious. We stayed there a couple days along the border of West Texas. The drive to Fort Davis was absolutely beautiful, and we were so excited to get into the mountains. We did have a little fun once we got there.
There's no laws with the claws.
We were able to do quite a bit of hiking in Fort Davis, take some cool candid photos with the dogs, and enjoy our time. One thing I discovered is I have an incredible fear of heights. I knew I was scared of heights before, but this really highlighted it. For someone that is completely scared of heights, this may not have been the best idea. It seemed like a good one coming up, but going down, not so much. That's the road. I believe that this picture sums up how I was feeling right at that moment, and I would like to thank John for taking the following video showing how carefully I was clinging to the edge of the mountain while walking down. The good news is I made it through the panic attack process and made it down the mountain. This is a view from the bottom.
So I'm pretty sure
I applauded myself once I got there. John, on the other hand, absolutely loved it. We then took a drive and just so happened to be rewarded by running into a winery in the middle of nowhere. I don't think it was a coincidence that we found a wine tasting room and a winery out in the middle of nowhere. Right outside of Fort Davis, Texas, like 8 miles. The next day, we took a beautiful drive called The Loop around Fort Davis, which is about 76 miles, and saw some beautiful scenery. Then it was on to El Paso. We got into El Paso and decided to stay in a hotel due to the wind. We ran into Rosa's Cantina. If you grew up in the 80s, you remember the song by Marty Robbins about El Paso. We have not been able to get that song out of our head. In the spirit of working on my fear of heights, the next day, we walked up the Aztec Mountain Trail, which is another 700-foot elevation climb outside of El Paso. It was windy and pretty chilly, but we made it up the mountain, and the dogs turned out to be excellent mountain climbers. I made it all the way to the top of the Aztec Caves Trail.
Like, subscribe, and vibe.
And yes, we could not resist jumping on the Mittens bandwagon while we were there. See you next time.